Here's a question that I've been considering for some time, actually. Maybe you've thought about this. How brilliant would it be to have a genetically modified child? Like, just think what you could do with that. I've always thought I want one normal child and one genetically modified child roughly the same time, so I can pit them against each other and see what wins. Science versus nature in your house. That would be amazing. You know? When one child is a bit, oh, you know, it's not fair, Jessica's so much stronger than me and faster than me and smarter than me. I go, yes, but you're normal. Your sister's a genetic freak. I've no idea how many arms she's going to grow. She's got 7. One more, we're taking her to the circus. Octopus woman, we'll make millions. Go play. I think I'll make a great dad. Actually, if I could design my own perfect child, what would it be? How would that compare to someone else? So I actually got my housemate Gemma to fill out some questions, so I filled them out. Right? Gemma wants me to point out that although her things altogether add up to sort of an Aryan vision of a child. She's not a Nazi, because like the first one, hair colour, question 1, she's put dark, so still no Nazi, because you know. I thought something similar, but then as I can choose, I thought something a bit more unique. I went for blue, but you know nothing too outlandish, sort of sky blue sort of thing, because you can choose, so you want to make it unique. Skin colour, Gemma went for tanned. Which is good, because I went for something similar. I went for bronzed originally. But I went further. I crossed out bronzed and went for golden, and in brackets, sparkly. Think about like a golden Adonis, and if you can make it golden, why not? I do realise, combine that golden sparkly skin with the blue hair, looks a bit gay, but he'll get past bullying. You know. And to be fair, looking at the rest of this list, that's the least of his worries. For instance, height. Gemma's put 6 foot, which is a good average size for a man. I originally went for 8'2", because I thought it would be cool to have a giant son. But then I thought cost terms, you know, with the economy how it is, that's a bit, you know, because you've got to get all the clothes made for them, the bigger shoes. What would be much more practical to have a much smaller son, roughly about 5 inches, I thought, because then you could make clothes out of like a handkerchief, you could live in a shoebox with like matchstick furniture, you carry them in your pocket, it's all practical, it's there, it's like your own personal borrower. Yeah, moving on, teeth. I wrote this question, I wasn't really sure what answer I was looking for. Straight/white, which is obviously a good one. I thought about this a long time before I settled for metal. I've watched Spider Love Me enough times to know how useful a pair of metal teeth can be. You know, you never know when you've got to bite through some cable or fight off a super secret agent. You know, you can eat as many sweets as you like. Plaque's not a problem. Rust, maybe, but nothing you can't deal with. Any other feature then? Gemma got a bit greedy, she chose 2. One, she put eye colour blue, which is a good choice, and 4 limbs. So, being safe there, were you, Gemma? Okay, fair enough. As she chose 2, I chose one main theme. I'm not sure how scientifically possible it is, but as you'll have seen before, if you could, you would. I chose superpower, I chose flight and laser eyes. I couldn't decide between the 2, they're my favourites, so I've got them down. Looking at the list then, Gemma has got a dark-haired, 6-foot-tall, tan-skinned guy with blue eyes and perfect teeth, so a model maybe. I, on the other hand, have got a golden-skinned, sparkly, blue-haired, 5-inch midget with metal teeth that can fly and have laser eyes. I think if I came home with that, that's the last time my wife would give me responsibility for choosing anything. Surprise! My own parents are brilliant. They're mad, but they are brilliant. I can only give you one example, I think, that will just prove to you just how crazy my parents actually are. This is a true story, I promise you. My dad, I don't know if your parents like this, my dad constantly hears like little niggly noises, especially when they're coming from his car. He's always got to try and place them. He'll drive around and go, Trudy, turn off the radio. Did you hear that? It's coming from the wheels. I'm sure it's coming from the wheels. We'll pull over, it's not coming from the wheels. But, you know, he's always got to find it. This one time, there's one particularly niggly noise that had been going on for ages. It's coming from somewhere at the back of the car. So he got in the back passenger seat, my mum drove. You know, this proved somewhat inconclusive for my dad. So what he actually did was get out of the car, he got in the boot, my mum locked him in and drove round my village. Now, if the thought of your mum driving round your village with your dad locked in the boot of the car all through choice isn't ludicrous enough, my mum actually forgot he was in there. enjoying herself. She's going a bit faster, you know, got the radio on, girls for church, she likes that one. You know, she's taking the corners a bit faster. She then starts hearing a weird muffled sound, clunking when she's taking those corners. Gets home genuinely surprised to flip open the boot and find my dad in there semi-conscious. Safe to say, Mum's never been allowed to drive Dad's car again, and the noise has been undiscovered. My nan is just as brilliant. She's 86. For her 86th birthday, we bought her a Nintendo DS. Not an appropriate present, you might think, for an 86-year-old. The touchscreen did nearly blow her mind. But she's getting the hang of it now. It took some time. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to try and explain to an 86-year-old woman how to use a Nintendo DS over the phone. It's like trying to get a nervous colourblind man to defuse a bomb. I love my dad, come on. She did spend the first few months programming the clock, quite happily. Not the game, but she loved it. She can do digital now, it's brilliant. But no, she's progressed really well, to be fair to her. I don't pick it up as quickly as she did. For Christmas, we decided to get some new games to try and test her. We don't say, test my brand! Something really like that. That would be brilliant. We bought her Scrabble. But I can say there seems to be something wrong with the world when on Christmas morning you wake up and unwrap woolen jumpers and your nan's unwrapping Game Boy games. It should never work that way around. But no, we've got a Scrabble and she loves that. But it's unfortunate that it has got to the stage where she started talking about the people on the Scrabble as if they were real. You know, she'll ring us up and say, you know, I just finished playing Scrabble with Simon. He beat me on a 2-letter word. I'm sure he cheats. It was fine, but it took us some time to work out Simon was in fact virtual, and not some strange man she'd invited in off the street, you know. Me and my nan are quite similar. We're both warriors. We worry about things, not soldiers. But yeah, we've both got a fear of flying. But I've found something that sort of helps me with that. Now, a little game you can play. All you need is a Polaroid camera and a photo album filled with random pictures of people, right? Halfway through the plane journey, get out the camera, turn to someone on the flight nearby that you don't know them, and go, cheese, take the photo, shake it off, get out the photo album, open it up, find a space, slide it in, go, then turn back to the person and explain that in some cultures, they believe that if you take someone's photograph, you own their soul. Close the photo album, put it back in your bag, sit back, safe in the knowledge that you're now not the only person completely freaked out. That's pretty much my slot done now. This is the interval following up, so there's cupcakes and things for sale outside. You've got about 15 minutes. If you could find one of us with maybe a pen, you can write down a line on your ticket, which will be used in one of the improv games after the interval. I just want to thank you all for coming and thank you for being a great audience.
I've got a quick note, Dan.
Woo. Okay.
I've got a pad of paper. If anyone wants to write a message or a joke or anything, it's there. I'm keeping the lid though, because I don't trust you. But it's there.
Thank you very much.